What up, everyone? How are you guys?
Hey EJ, how are you?
Good. Dragon, I'll get you in there. I don't know where Noodles is, but he should be unmuted already. Nope, he is not. All right, Danny, you're good to speak.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
thanks.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool, good. I know that it's
Can you hear me okay?
yeah, I can. Obviously, we just arrived in LA in advance of the NFTExpoverse, so wanted to jump on a call with you guys and give some updates. So much appreciated, Danny and Dravo setting this all up, and Dragon. Obviously, thank you for being here as well. It's a pleasure to just have you guys in the house, and we're super excited. But just to kind of kick everything off, obviously I'm EJ with EverReflect in LA. Um, Flew out from Michigan this morning, so it was about a 5 hour flight that we got on the plane at 6 a.m. and touchdown, and then got to the hotel. And I figured it was a little bit nicer to come and actually enjoy some of this LA weather and jump on the old video chat with you guys. But thank you for everybody for jumping in today. Danny and I specifically are going to go over some updates in regards to EverReflect, but mostly EverTix. So basically, the way these Wednesday AMAs are going to start going is that whenever Noodles wants to interrupt and correct me or tell me that we're making better updates on something, I'm definitely going to have him jump in. So without further ado, Danny, why don't you give a little intro and give everybody an update as far as what you had and what you wanted to cover. And I'm never short for words, so then I'll obviously fill in any of the blanks that maybe you don't cover.
All right, sounds good to me. So, as many of you might know, my name in Telegram and Discord and whatnot is Noodles. My name is Danny, and I'm one of the core team members for EverReflect. And over the last 4, 5, 6 months, we've been working to the bone, getting EverTix and all the other various bits and pieces of our utilities working. And today I'm happy to say that EverTix has been absolutely flawless with this first event. We've had no issues. And I'm incredibly proud of what we've achieved with EverTix.
Right.
And in terms of other things that, what I talked about, one of the big ones is the NFT morphing. The displaying of QR codes and removal of QR codes. It's absolutely mind-blowing and incredibly cool.
I think this is a good time. I know we've mentioned Feisty, one of our other developers on the NFTs and what he's done with some of our contract work, though. Maybe give everybody a little bit of an overview of what Feisty's done in the background as well, because the man's brilliant, and Danny's done an amazing job of really bringing him into the fold and a part of the family.
So essentially, it's 99% Feisty and 1% me, just poking him. No, the man is a certified genius. I'm very jealous of his skills, without a doubt. So he's been working behind the scenes with us with creating basically the whole framework and infrastructure of dealing with when orders come in and the processing, and then bringing that fiat side over to the blockchain side, and that whole kind of weaving of the PDF tickets and all that, and then being able to also apply the same kind of strategies and protection over to the NFT side. So I've been working a lot with him on that, and he's blown my mind. He's also done the calculator for us and the NFT viewer. And I'm sure there'll be lots and lots of other things that he's going to do for us down the line. So huge shout out to Feisty and Manuel as well. Yeah. Another absolute diamond who has come through and really helped us, get the site to its performance, to its speed. And he's, without a shadow of a doubt, an absolute A1 star in all of this.
Yeah. And Danny doesn't give himself enough credit because of the fact that maybe it's 1% of some of the coding and development work, but it's about 99.9% of all of the testing, and that he's constantly going back and finding certain bugs. And one aspect, especially since, it's one aspect to have a token, right? And be concerned about the chart and advertising for just getting new holders of say a cryptocurrency. The X factor that I think we've all been humbled by in a lot of ways that we weren't even aware of was all of the development work that happens on the back end that we can't do. And so when he speaks of guys like Manuel that have literally handled migrating server to server, website to website, URL, and then when we get a harebrained idea that we're like, we need to move this back, or now we need to go to a virtual server, Manuel's handled all that flawlessly with no questions. There you are. And then the same thing with Feisty, where these guys are working so hard behind the scenes, developing things that nobody will even completely ever see, will never even understand. Because in a lot of ways, we don't completely understand it, but that's the beauty of having a core team of really 4 solid developers that we play off of each other. And Danny will tell you first and foremost, like, I can be the biggest pain in the ass to him because he'll come up with an idea. It's a brilliant idea. It'll shell shock me. It'll take me 24 hours to be like, wait, how did you even think of this? Because everybody's so forward thinking of how do you develop the next steps. And even though we have multiple utilities, the true heart and soul of this is, how do we make EverTix better? How do we make everything better with the NFTs? More safe, obviously, for the vendors, safer for the patrons attending. How do we get into the morphing and the nesting? How do we completely comprehend merging this with fiat like we're doing with RibFest currently? Because 100% of all the revenue that's come in for RibFest, out of all the tickets, all that buyback and burn that Danny's been handling, it's all with regular US dollar debit cards. Like, this isn't people buying it with BUSD or BNB and swapping over, one blockchain to another to be able to buy these things. These are all general, everyday consumers that want to go attend a concert. Yeah. Right. It's all fresh revenue.
That's the beauty of the whole thing, is we're not fully always dependent and reliant on, the way the crypto market is looking.
Right.
Because we're able to bring in that and then bring it into EverReflect. It's a very pretty little system going.
Because I know that you've given off the number of tickets where we're always at, like, here we're at 1,900 or we're at 2,000. How much BNB do you think you've spent from the EverReflect wallets on just EverReflect tokens from just RibFest tickets in the last 4 weeks? Rough estimate.
2,000 and something, 2,000, in between 2,000 and 2,100.
So we're talking anywhere with the price of BNB, somewhere in the range of 10 or 11 BNB. That's adding to liquidity, adding to rewards, adding to volume, all based on concerts that are taking place, haven't even started yet. I mean, this event isn't over. Like, we're, as I'm doing the NFTExpoverse here in LA, Danny and I are going to both be helping RibFest over in Bay City, Michigan, to manage, especially with the scanner of the QR codes for people to be able to get into the venue, and a ton of customer service. That's the other. I think a lot of people know, coming from the festival industry, one of the major downfalls that I always had with using certain sites. I won't go into I can mention the big ones, like say a Ticketmaster or an Eventbrite, right? They're so massive that calling them out for some issues with customer service isn't really that hard to do, because anybody that has an account, has utilized them, knows, okay, response, being able to get refunds, whether it's missed tickets, whether it's that they wanted to upgrade, any of those issues. The two of us have been handling that in-house for 4 weeks. So even on the back end, where a lot of people are like, hey, you guys aren't really in the social medias, you're not on, Telegram, for example, as much as you were a month ago or 2 months ago. No, we're not, because we're on the EverTix chat, responding to that. We're on Google Voice, getting, say even a slow day is 10 to 12 messages, that we're interacting with all these consumers that are outside of the entire crypto BSE space. And that's important to us. And it has been from day one, that we want to make sure customer service for everybody that's utilizing EverTix can go back and say, hey, as a customer and a patron that's attending this event, I'm happy with the customer service. Or same for the vendor, for the promoter and the event planner. And it's a lot of hand holding. And because we're still a small core, it's a lot of hand holding, that we're doing the holding of the hands. And it's been going well, though. Like the event will kick off tomorrow and runs through this coming Sunday. And the promoters are happy. Everybody that's been interacting with it has been extremely happy. Obviously, we have 4 more days to be able to fulfill everything on our end, paying out revenue. The majority of a ticket price is going back to that promoter and that revenue. We've done that all through our EverReflect, legal-based bank accounts, that they're getting paid out in fiat. And it's just kind of a foreign concept, I think, for a lot of people, because it's like, okay, this is like, I'm in the gray area of both fiat and BSE, but that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted since back in November and since day one, that how do we merge these two and get people to adapt to it? And there I go, talking too much again.
Oh, you got a great voice. We love to hear it.
So with that being said, and everything of where we're at currently, where are we going in the future? So Danny's kind of highlighted on the morphing of the QR codes for the NFTs. We're still working with Tango Crypto to work on their convention that's coming in October. A big part of, me coming out here to represent EverReflect in LA for the thousands of NFT, I guess everything from NFT fans to, NFT registered businesses that'll be in attendance this coming weekend. It's important because we can get in front of live events, and we want to make sure we get additional promoters and event planners, but we also have to not forget, like, a portion of our tickets is NFTs, and how do we get ourselves more secure, better rapport, better networked with the NFT space. And that's a big part of attending this convention this weekend. And I'll try to do some live, whether it's photos of, running into some of our favorite tokens like Enhance, that'll be out here as a keynote speaker, and try to get some tweets out there and stuff of actually like attending the convention and seeing what it looks like. This is exciting too, because this is another new step that I've promoted so many festival conventions in my career, but to be at an NFT convention is new for me too. So I'm kind of like a kid at Christmas. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. This will be a lot of like networking and building rapport that I've never even had the opportunity to do in the past. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not a 5-hour flight to LA for you.
No, that's correct.
He's definitely not based in the U.S., if anybody was wondering. So we appreciate him staying up late as well, because it's definitely not, well, I think it's 4 p.m.
It's only 9:15. It's not my bedtime just yet.
Well, and I'm so messed up because it's 4 p.m. back home. It's 1 p.m. here right now. So a little, but hey, it's worth it. So what other topics, what other things do you think that you wanted to cover or highlight that we're working on, or that's in the space that we're excited about?
Well, one of the nice things that I was excited about with the RibFest, and was I really just wanted to see how the site just performed. because it's such a huge factor, you know.
Right.
Like you've always said to me, is about the click through rate and the speed of the site and everything. So that was, you know,
yeah.
with manual, we heavily looked at that over the past couple of weeks to see, and we've been incredibly proud with how it is handled. I mean, you see yourself that no issues. It's great.
And getting the CDN and all that kind of stuff properly set up so that just the processing is fast. You know, little issues that you don't even think of, like sending out 100 emails plus a day. That when we sell 150 tickets, that all of a sudden, like, oh, we didn't think that this error was going to come up, and we have to go back into our Gmail accounts of where we host our EverTix emails and SMT or SMTP, and being able to, you know, improve that processing and increase the amounts. Like, these are all these little things that these gentlemen are doing on the back end that will never get they'll never get credit for. They'll never get the I guess the thanks. That's the reason why this system is still it's a foundation that works for obviously large scale events already, but now we can start scaling it, and now we can start building it out to, you know, when we do 10,000 tickets in a day, how do we accommodate for doing seated venues like performing arts centers, which is just another step up. That's an increase over, you know, general admission, multi-tiered level tickets that we have set up right now. And I think the other process that we're looking at is how do we expand to encompass as many different events as possible. And a bunch of our team, you know, and this is not going to be an overnight success story. And they hammer me about this every week. How do we transition from just a US based ticketing company over into countries, you know, into the UK or into anywhere in Europe? And there's a process with that too. Doing it legally, making sure that the bank accounts and everything, as far as you know, transferring of funds, you know, if it comes in as US dollars and converting it back over to another currency. So we're getting all those kinks worked out too, but it is a process. It's not something that you can just like click your fingers and be like, hey, Huntington Bank, are you guys cool with us, you know, accepting British pounds? And then in the same account, we're also going to be accepting just US dollars. So the steps come, but there's constantly builds, there's constantly development that we're working on every day, because, you know, we're going to get more and more attention, more and more people that want to utilize this platform. And it's cool to see. It's really exciting.
Well, that's one of the beauties of us getting EverTix out earlier than was planned, is, right, you know, we've just bought ourselves more time to get bigger, better, faster, you know? And that's exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to keep doing.
And it's one of those things that it's not like you're trying to pat yourself on the shoulder, that you're trying to necessarily, you know, say we did something that we, you know, the under promise over delivered, but in a lot of ways that everything ended up coming out faster than what we expected. And that's to the testament of the team working their butts off to be able to make sure that it was done in a timeline that I'd never even expected. When we were writing the white paper back in November, and, you know, I'm thinking like third quarter at the earliest, and that we can crank this thing out in like mid second quarter, and that it's already being utilized by events is it's pretty incredible, to be honest. So I'm just thankful that we have the team that we do. I'm thankful that we have kind of a team that really stays focused on the goals that we have at hand, because it's very easy to get distracted sometimes. And we really have tried to do this, and we've said it a lot on some of the other AMAs, but we haven't said it in our Telegram as much recently. But during a down market, and when everybody else is kind of, everybody's frustrated at the price of like B&B. Like, sure, you wish it was November of last year and it was $600 dollars of BNB, and everybody's kind of happy. Everybody's investing in everything. Everybody's buying everything. And so it's no longer this, we're worried, will it shoot back down to 175, or will it drop back down to 200 or 225? And there's a lot of tension and a lot of adversity for everybody when the market's the way it is. But the key is for our team is just stay focused. Like, okay, yeah, we understand that there's issues outside of our control and capability, but is it feasible for us to just stay focused? Like, yeah, maybe we can like get distracted for a couple hours, but let's go back to work. Like, let's really just laser focus in on what's the goal here. We got just a couple of goals. And if we keep hammering at those goals, we're going to keep improving and building and making everything that we're doing on a daily basis better and better. And I think that that's really been the core foundation of everybody on our team of, if we can stay focused on what we can build, then it's not going to be this, okay, we found ourselves, 2-3 weeks down the line that we've forgotten about what our real purpose here is. And even though we have a couple of purposes with the utilities that we built already, the main purpose is the token EverReflect and EverTix. That's it. That's the only project I represent. I know that there's been some people that have also asked me, put out statements about like, hey, I'm not project leads on all these other things. I'm not. EverReflect is my baby. It's the only one I dream about. I still have my day job with Michigan Festival and Events as their director. And so my life's consumed enough with those two things. Has there been advising on certain other projects? Across the board. If somebody shoots me a message and they need help finalizing Pink Sale, or if they need help with math, or if they just have an idea and they want to bounce it off of me, I'm always going to be that person where I'm going to give honest opinions. Hey, that's a great idea. Hey, I would never do that. This is how you finalize a Pink Sale by changing the swap function. Those kind of things will always come up. That's just the human I am. And I think that that's the humans that we have basically on our team, that they're always going to lend advice and lend a helping hand. But everybody can be rest assured, we're laser focused. EverTix and EverReflect are our babies. We're not cheating on anybody.
Yep.
Hey, it's a lot of great information you just put out there, man. Quick question. So, because you put out a lot of good talking points. So, during with the expansion, I know you're talking about overseas, but as far as here in the States, you have a lot of shows like in Detroit and stuff like that. So are you planning on expanding out city by city, or like state by state? Like, how do you plan on as far as here right now in the local area, expanding outward?
Well, expansion won't really be geolocated as much as it's geolocated based on me being based in Lansing, Michigan, right? So as far as my network and representing the 500 festivals that we have for Michigan Fun, that's going to always be kind of one of the easiest ones to leverage, because this is my busiest time of the year for all our festival seasons for the state of Michigan. So on the other side, even festivals that aren't using EverTix, I've been representing them for years. So I'm constantly advising, doing other aspects of marketing, helping with just other portions of their event planning. So it'll always kind of, I guess the initial growth is probably going to always come from Michigan because of my geolocation. But as far as the site itself, technically, theoretically, even if you wanted to sell tickets in, say, Ireland, you could register your own account and start selling tickets today. The site's open worldwide, that anybody that's looking at this can use it. That's why Tango's using it in Orlando, Florida. And they just registered their own account, became admins. And expansion can go as fast or slow from state to state, just depending on who looks at it, likes our team, wants to try out the product because they were dissatisfied with, say, a Ticketmaster or an Eventbrite. With that being said, we're also expanding with all the other associations and festival associations around the country. We have a great connection with the Florida Association, with the Texas Association, with the California Association, traveling to other conventions and getting our name out there. Like the process of people seeing a ticketing site is kind of almost like if you're using a cheap hotel's website. Like you might have always used Hotwire, and then you'll see commercial after commercial for kayak, and then eventually you're like, okay, maybe I'll try out kayak. Or I've seen all these commercials for hotels.com, so now I'm going to start using hotels.com. But it's almost like the repetition of the marketing of them seeing it like, okay, this ticketing site's legit. Other festivals are using it. It will slowly grow. I've seen the same thing, the process happen with Reg Fox just a number of years ago, and they slowly built up adoption because of the fact that they were small to begin with, but they kept showing up at conventions. They kept putting their branding out into a lot of the festival association, whether it's magazines, pamphlets, conventions, email blasts, the different things that our associations can do to basically advertise a vendor. That's what we're going to continue to keep doing. And I really do hope that we'll start seeing some off the radar events that will sign up, because it's so easy to register your own account. You could sell your own birthday tickets and they could come across as NFTs, and you would make the revenue on it. We would deposit it into your bank account or your PayPal. And it's no harder than that. Like the actual simplicity of the site isn't just for the patron or consumer that's buying a ticket. The ease of use is also for the vendor or the promoter that wants to sell tickets. And as people see that, and as you know, like the guys from the Rib Fest, as they brag about the success, because the biggest thing for them, right, is just that they get paid. Like that customers were happy, that they had easy check-in, and that they get their revenue at the end of the day. As we build that with more and more event planners, we'll get more and more adoption, just because that's how the industry has always worked. And I truly think will always work.
Man, that sounds great. Thank you for that information. We had a couple hands up in the Telegram.
Yeah.
Seaside had a question. Seaside, you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, kinda. It was a little vague there.
Let's see here.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, much better.
Hey, this is great. How you guys doing?
Good. What's up, Seaside?
So I guess my question is so does EverReflect have an NFT marketplace, or will they be having one?
Sir
Noodles? You built it.
NFT.
So.
We do. We have an NFT marketplace where you can mint, buy, sell. Right now, it's live. EverNFT.space. I'll link it in the chat.
Well, the reason why I ask is because I know that an artist can mint their songs and sell it directly to their audience, right? And I'm thinking that can be linked in with an NFT ticket.
Yeah, easily.
Do you see what I'm saying?
On our NFT marketplace, you can actually already mint your own. If you wanted your own collection, and say you're a project or a brand, we can create your own collection for you. But as of right now, you could go to, say, the EverReflect family NFT collection, go mint your own and put it for sale. And that can be basically any media. So it could be a JPEG, it could be a GIF, it could be an MP3, it could be an MP4. So the capabilities in the marketplace are already there. That was one of, we launched EverChart, EverConnect, and then EverNFT, all within like a 3-week window prior to EverTix. And cool story about that is that all of those utilities, we didn't know it in advance, were like our training ground to build EverTix. Like we had to do all of those like prerequisites, like for your college diploma,
Right.
before we could actually do EverTix. And so that's why the marketplace is there. And it's a pretty cool site. There's been a number of projects that have utilized it, and I encourage a lot of people. We've built a lot of products that are user friendly, but there's a learning curve.
Right.
So like there is with everything with BSE, and go play with it. Like that's how Danny and I learned so much, is we just go play with stuff until we break it. And then we're like, oh, now we know how it works. And I encourage everybody with all of our utilities, go to our ecosystem, even start at EverReflect.io, check them out. If you have any questions, feedback's always encouraged, but then also with feedback, just keep in mind, we incorporate things when we have the capability of doing it as well. So it's not that we're not taking feedback and keeping notes from everybody that we have for the last couple months. We might not be able to implement it as fast for a number of reasons. And so, I would highly encourage check out our NFT marketplace. It's pretty cool. And Danny literally built that out of just sheer, learning adoption is pretty cool.
That's really cool. The other question I had is, so I live in Massachusetts, and I recently went to a couple of concerts, and the concerts they're at small venues. They're not at like your Fenway Park or your House of Blues. They're at these, they're at these little theaters, and like the Celtic Women was in, this little theater in Medford, and T.I. is actually going to be in Lynn, Massachusetts at this theater, which is crazy. But
cool, yeah, that's a big artist.
Yeah, and it's going to be a small theater. So I'm wondering, how would you guys go about just going directly to the theater and say, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're about, and get the product up and running at these small theaters?
Well, we're in the process of it. So that's another component. If anybody's ever spoken to Lunar Lander from Nobility, Lunar is a wealth of knowledge in the ticketing space, and he'll tell you in like a 30-second window of why a general admission ticket versus a seated venue ticket, there's a pretty big
jump
gap. Right, exactly. We have it built already. And so Danny can tell you that we have the capabilities of uploading any kind of schematic or floor plan for like a said venue or performing arts center. The difference is it's not fully tested to our, I guess, the standard of quality that we're looking for yet. But it's coming, and especially after RibFest, once we can kind of take a moment, and after NFTExpoverse, and we can just take a moment and kind of be like, all right, what are the next, 2-3 most important goals that we're going to focus on? That is number one or number two, other than a couple of the other aspects of making the NFT deposit into our, we have all of our apps up too. I don't know if we've highlighted that, but like Danny's done an amazing job that like EverTix, EverReflect, EverTix Scanner, all of our apps are already live on the Apple Store and on the Google Play Store. So like that's another component of, we already have it in place, so the foundation is set. And,
is there an educational site where someone can say, okay, read about each product, and so they don't go in there and not know what they're doing? They want to, like, if I wanted to go in there and just check out every app, is there like an educational site saying like, this is what this app is for, and this is what it does, and this is how you use it? Do you know what I mean?
You're gonna have to probably start with our ecosystem pages. Okay. Starting at EverReflect.io, and then build on from there. Each one of the specific sites themselves has a frequently asked questions.
Oh, okay.
It has direct live chat. Like that is one thing that we pride ourselves on, is that like at any moment, basically, you can be in direct live communication with us. We'll preface it that there's probably up to a 24-hour window for response, but realistically, we're all over the world, so our team is going to constantly be responding within a much smaller window of, an hour to 2 hours, and all those live chats and all those customer supports are there. And there can always be improvements on the education component, but we're going to keep adding to that as we keep adding. as we do
Or
each
do you
week.
have like a YouTube video tutorial or something? You know what I mean? Like introducing
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, that we do have pretty much for everything. So if you were to go to the EverReflect YouTube, click on the Jeremy section. So
Okay.
Jeremy, one of our lead mods, has done. There's not a tutorial that man hasn't basically done or written. I think everything down to how to buy EverReflect T-shirt on the site. Like the dude, tutorial galore. Uh, and I would check out any of those socials from the YouTube's going to be probably the most, hands-on, and everybody watches YouTube to learn stuff now. Like I have to fix, a water
Yeah.
heater. I'm going
Yep.
to go to YouTube to learn how to fix that water heater.
Great tool.
Um, right. So I think our YouTube doesn't have a ton of followers, and I think it's one of those the most like valuable, underutilized sites that we have, because everybody wants to see the AMAs and maybe listen to the AMAs. But if you go into the subsections of like the education component, especially the Jeremy section, it's super valuable.
So once you get your what we were talking about before about the theaters, once you get that where you want it, I guess it's just a matter of training people and going into the theater and saying, "Hey, this is what we are." You know what I mean?
Right. And most theaters already have somebody that kind of handles all their ticketing services, right? Like they're going to know if they're using Eventbrite or eTix or whatever service that they're using. So we would want to talk to that, ticket manager, show them any kind of tutorials. We'll always do a live, Zoom video. Hey, here's the quick overview. Maybe in advance, register an admin account.
Yeah.
There's finally a little bit of breeze coming through here. Like LA's a lot hotter than Michigan. I will tell you guys that. Like I'm over here sweating, but it's funny. That if there's ever a ticketing manager that wants to reach out, basically, we're going to be there at the ready to give them a tutorial. And those are usually the easiest ways if there's any confusion on how to use the site. And that's how most of the good sites for ticketing, that's the way they operate now. So we're going to kind of emulate their process that I've learned over the years. So
That's wild. Yeah, the potential. I mean, you guys, I saw the potential for this project, and I bought $500 billion, and I was just like, this is going to go ape shit once it gets out there. So,
right.
You guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate you guys being there.
Thank you. Well, and we're going to start getting back into this rotation of every Wednesday. Danny and I will jump on here for like Q&A, overviews, updates. But yeah, I think there will be a tipping.
I work at MGM in Fenway Park. It's a new music hall, and it's all Live Nation over there. And
over in Chicago?
No, in Boston.
Oh, in Boston. Yeah. Okay. Fenway. I'm sorry.
It's a brand new music hall. They don't even. The Godsmack is going to be their first concert on the 27th of next month, and I just got a bartending gig over there, and I'm just thinking, my God, if fucking EverTix can get over here, dude, that would just be absolutely insane.
All the same, right? Yeah, and we have a lot of good contacts, and I have a lot of old colleagues from Michigan State, because a ton of us that went to Michigan State went on to work for Live Nation for a number of years. Some of them are still senior vice presidents for Live Nation. So it's not, but it's like anything. And I think that, I used to say this a lot more back in like March and April. Like I've been in entertainment and events for 21 years, going on 22 years now. Like that's just been my career. So we had to build something that my work colleagues like Jay, who's doing RibFest, would utilize. Because if I give them a product that an event planner tries out one time and they don't like it, they don't care if it's NFT related. They don't care if it's ESC related.
Right.
They're just going to be pissed off that like, well, you failed my customers. You failed me as a vendor. You failed any deposits. Like it's always been built from the festival and event colleagues, because they are really going to be the gateway for the whole ecosystem. Like they are the gateway, in my personal opinion.
No, you're absolutely right.
May disagree with that, but that's always been that's really been my passion for 20 years. And then crypto kind of just came in, since 2016, 17, randomly buying some Bitcoin, and then, got bit by the bug. So,
and then we got Web3 and the metaverse coming up, and this is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, there's so many good things.
There's
so many good things coming.
Well, you guys are awesome. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, man. I'm humbled by it, so appreciate that. I know.
Yeah, man.
We all feel that.
I'm gonna step down, let someone else up.
Thank you very much. I think God's reward is wanting a word. He's still in here.
Yeah, he was just up here. I think he might have stepped out.
I'm moving further back into the shade because the sun is attacking me.
Yeah, I think he left.
Yeah, so for anyone who, if you got any questions right now, I mean, the guys are here. Come on up. Don't be shy.
Hey, and one other thing worldwide, just wanted a huge shout out and thank you so much for, just kind of helping be a facilitator of the two of us doing this. Will you give a rundown of your current app that you just released that EverReflect will be listed on as well?
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting. Yeah. Wow. I appreciate that. So, yeah, my partner and I, we came out with an DeFi portfolio viewer. It's called Lynx Crypto App. That's LYNX Crypto App. You can head to the website. It's lynxcrypto.app. So LYNX crypto.app. So yeah, it's a DeFi portfolio viewer. So you can add there's no security risk to this app. You don't have to connect your wallets. You don't have to seed phrase, no nothing. You don't have to connect anything. You simply copy and paste your wallet address into Lynx, and Lynx will auto populate all of your tokens associated with that wallet. Now you can it'll also populate your dusted tokens or whatnot, which you can just select the ones you want to see in your portfolio. So with that, it'll show all of your transactions for each of your tokens. It'll auto calculate your dollar cost average for those tokens, your average price, the price that you bought those tokens at. So you can go in and select your transaction, and it'll actually display the price of the token at the time, how much you paid for it, and everything. You can also go into there will be a little option to go into BSC scan where you can actually view it there as well. But this is a tool to just have everything, your whole entire portfolio. Because if you're like me, I have like 12 different wallets. I got a couple ledgers and stuff because, just as a security measure, I don't like to keep all my crypto in one spot. So this allows me to view my entire portfolio in one spot without the risk of, possibly being hacked or, connecting or, something happening. It's free to use. It's available in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It's already there. You can view, download it from there. And it's a great tool that we wanted to put in the hands of the people because and it's another one of the main reasons why we came out with this the way we did is a lot of the times for projects to get listed on the CoinMarketCap or to CoinGecko, it's a hassle. It takes a long time. There's not a whole lot of guarantee of when they will be listed, and that's one of the first things that a lot of people ask, when they're buying launches or whatnot is, when will I be able to see, the price of my investment? When am I going to see the price of my tokens? And so with Lynx Crypto app, we kind of eliminated that. So your tokens, like if you was to buy if a project was to launch here in the next 5 minutes, as soon as the liquidity pool for that project is created on, right now we're only tracking Ethereum, BSC, and Polygon. But as soon as the liquidity pool is created onto PancakeSwap, QuickSwap, or Uniswap, tracking of that token is already there. So when you make your purchase, it will automatically load. You don't have to manually input anything. The only thing you have to manually input is your wallet address, and it will auto-populate from there. This is a lot of this. Basically, the app itself is pretty autonomous, other than the initial setup. So, like I said, when this launch happens, and you make your purchase, it'll pop up in your portfolio, and you'll be able to view what the price of your token is right then there. So, yeah, like I said, this is a completely free to use app. Links Crypto app, linkscrypto.app
and what
is the website.
We'll have you drop it in our chat. We'll have you drop it in the Telegram. So put the link in there, and if you want to have any kind of graphic for any kind of links for questions for you guys, because we jumped on board with it. Worldwide has just been a great friend, honestly, and so to see him be a man of integrity, to find valuable resources in other gentlemen and individuals to work with, to be able to build this application. We want to support it. He supported us, so we'll definitely have you drop it in the Telegram. If you have anybody has any more questions, but EverReflect will be listed, and it's a cool app. I've already downloaded it. I haven't played with it as much as I want to, but even in the first couple of seconds, I was like, oh wow, I can do every wallet that quick.
There you go. I put a link in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll drop that link in the chat.
I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah, perfect. Well, with that being said, we've gone about 47 minutes. I'm extremely jet lagged and sweaty, so I think I'm going to jump in the pool and then go take a nap. Danny, I know that you know it's late for you, and you've worked hard every single day, even as I'm running around being trying to represent us across the United States. So unless there's any other questions, I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to everybody for joining tonight. Thank you for everybody asking questions. Like we said, approximately 4 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday, we're going to try to get into this consistent AMA schedule, just so that we can kind of give internal EverTix and EverReflect updates, and have a space for everybody to come in and ask questions, go back to kind of our Telegram roots. And then these will be recorded and reposted on our YouTube channel as well. So, Danny, did you have any other words? Or Dragon, you have any other words?
Yeah, same as yourself. I just want to thank everyone for joining us. Huge shout out to Dravo and Jeremy and everyone just for joining us tonight. It's absolutely it's gonna be fun. Excited, really excited for the future, and
very
pumped.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do some more of these, man. It's awesome time. You put out a lot of great information, and I really appreciate you letting me put the plug out for Link.
For sure. Well, we kind of need somebody like you that's not a part of the core dev team to kind of keep us in check and make sure questions are getting asked at times, because we'll definitely go down rabbit holes and talk for hours and days about stuff that's probably not even the most relevant. So no, your time and just your insights definitely appreciated. So, but with that, everybody, thank you so much for taking this time. Like I said, this will be recorded, posted on our YouTube channel, probably later tonight, early tomorrow morning, depending on what the schedule is when I end up downloading it. But hope everybody's safe, has a wonderful evening. And if you happen to be in LA this weekend, I'll be at the NFTExpoverse all 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So shoot us a line, or maybe even message on EverTix. The chat might be the easiest way to get in communication with me. And maybe we can meet up and get to at least shake hands and meet face to face, because I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people this weekend face to face that I've only met in this digital space for, going on 10 months now. So with that, we'll sign off. Danny, love you, man, and the rest of the team. We have the best team out there.
We do.
I can't even underestimate how powerful the core team it is that we truly have. So thank you, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
If anyone has any other questions that we didn't answer, just pop it in the chat, and I'll reply, and Dravo and the rest will too. So if anyone has any that didn't get answered, just pop them in the chat, and we'll answer what we can.
We'll make sure it's responded. So excellent. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Take care.